Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. My name is Jade and today I have an interesting book haul for you guys. And I say interesting because they're not like the normal books you'll see in a book haul. There was a big sale at my university for anthropology books and I'm an anthropology major, so I went a little crazy with that. But I do have some other books for you guys. So I actually also have a lot of books my friends gave me to read, because my friends all decided they wanted to give me like their favorite books to read. So I want to start with those first. They're books that I like wouldn't pick out for myself and they're really different, but we're going to get into them. The first book is actually because we watched this movie together for the first time and I've never seen it before, and that's The Silence of the Lambs by Thomas Harris. And then this is my little Valentine my friend made for me, which is super cute. So not from the same friend though. So my friend Eli gave me this to read along with this book, which I honestly don't know how to pronounce it. So, Silence of the Lambs is about a serial killer and an FBI detective trying to catch a different serial killer by working together. This book is about a man's life and his journey through finding religion, and you kind of see the different steps he goes through with different religions and almost what he loses because he's so obsessed with finding something that really works with him. So we have that book, and then another friend, we traded our favorite books, and she gave me The Scottish Prisoner by Diana Gabaldon, and I gave her the book that for some reason I can never remember the name of, but it's the first book from the author that did Spinning Silver. It starts with a U. Alright, that's all I got. The next book is Into Thin Air, a personal account of the Mount Everest disaster by John Krakauer. I don't know how to say that. Definitely these are books that I'd never pick out for myself, but I'm going to read them because my friends love them. And then we have Magical Thinking, True Stories by Augustin Burgos, which is about, it's a collection of stories that voice the thoughts we all have but dare not mention. That's really cool. I might start this today, possibly. No, I need to finish some books, but I might start this just because it's a short stories collection. So I'm going to leave that one off to the side. Alright, now I have The Absolutely True Diary of a Part-Time Indian by Sherman Alexie, and I actually read this book this month for one of my classes. I got it for my classes, and I love this book so much. It's really, really good. It's about a boy who grew up on an Indian reservation, and he was always kind of seen as an outcast because he had a lot of health problems and people looked down on him and he was like nerdy, and he decides for himself that he's going to go to a school off the reservation so he can get the best education for himself, so he can get off the reservation again eventually. But because of that, people see him as a traitor on the reservation, and he's almost living two separate lives. The person he has to pretend to be at a white school, and then the person he has to pretend to be at home. And it's such a good book. And that can go with the books I finished this month. And now we're getting into the books that I got at my book sale. So we have Emerging Classes in Papua New Guinea, which is about the change that the culture has gone there because they're starting to get influenced and introduced to the modern world. Because a lot of people kind of know that there is like a society that's kind of been like untouched by the rest of the world, but this is about like what's changing now because of that. And then I got Outliers by Malcolm Gladwell, and this book is so good. I read a couple excerpts of it for different English classes, but I'm glad to finally have it because it's one of the most influential and important books of all time. It's about like unusual events. It's like the true story of success is very different than like what people think. And we should spend more time looking around ourselves at such things like our family, a birthplace, or even a birth date. The story of success is more complex and more interesting than it initially appears. So it explains what the Beatles and Bill Gates have in common, the extraordinary success of Asians in math, and the hidden advantages of star athletes. So like one of the things it talks about is like a lot of star athletes that come from like specifically places in Africa have that because they actually would have to run to school every day, and so they actually develop traits that they pass on to their children, which makes their children faster. So the reason that these people like are such good athletes is because they're actually built to be better athletes, to survive where they are. So it's just like different situations around the world like that cause success. Then we have molecular biology, genes, and the chemical control of living cells. So this is just kind of about genetics a little bit, which I really love genetics, so I picked this up. And it's just a simple way that describes how chemistry, biology, and biochemistry work together on the basis of molecular biology. Then I got basic concepts in population, quantitative, and evolutionary genetics. So this is just about different important things that affect evolutionary genetics. I have The Legends and Myths of Hawaii by His Hawaiian Majesty, I know how to say this, Kalakua. He was the last king of the Hawaiian peoples before we imposed our government on them. So that's kind of cool. I have The Bridge to Humanity, How Affect Hunger Trumps the Selfish Gene by Walter Goldschmitz, which is about the relationship of biology and culture and the evolution of human behavior. So it like talks about several theories that describe human behavior and things like that. It just seems like a really cool book. I have Daughters of Tunis, Woman, Family, and Networks in a Muslim City by Paula Holmes Eber, which I think will be really cool because I don't know a lot of what it's like to be a woman in a Muslim city. So learning about that I think will honestly be really cool and maybe a little life-changing. This book I got at a different book sale. I got this at my library book sale, which is ironic. I got The Assassin's Blade by Sarah J. Maas. It's ironic because I was just thinking about how I need to buy The Tower of Dawn because I went to read the fifth book in the series and found out that I can't read it till I read the novella, which kind of pissed me off because I got a little spoiled. But that's fine. But then I found this for $2. I'm like, wow, I'm completing my series. We have Totems and Teachers. So this book I just picked up and it looked really cool. I think my friend just handed this to me and told me to get it. So I don't know a lot about what that one's about. We have Human Evolution, an introduction to the to physical anthropology, and it just looks like a really good textbook. So I got that one. British Nationalists in Qin China, The Science, Empire, and Cultural Encounter by Fatih Fan. So let's learn about what this one's about. So it's how Western science has affected China, and how the British nationalists and Chinese associates explore, study, and represent China's natural world within the social and cultural context of the late Qin Empire. So I think this book is kind of about how China changed to a more modern world through science while they were still had emperors and stuff like that. I don't know, it looks really cool. I don't really know what it's about, so that's kind of me guessing, but I have Immune Pathology by Chester M. Zimzewski, and I really love learning just about immune pathology and stuff like that. I think it's really interesting, so I got that. I got The Fossil Trail by Ian Tattersall. How we know what we think we know about human evolution. So this just explains what important discoveries we found that explain our current theories of human evolution. And then I got this textbook of Human Evolutionary Genetics, which is really cool because this textbook's still used, so it's likely that I'll need it when I'm getting my master's. So I'm pretty excited about that. Then we have another textbook on immunology, so that'll be really cool. And then I got this on Human Evolution by Roger Lewin. And this one just looked really, really interesting one, so I had to pick it up. Only have 2 more, guys. Then we have Introduction to Physical Anthropology which I don't like know too much about physical anthropology because my major is focusing in cultural, but I wanted to learn about it and just kind of just know more about it. So I got a bunch of textbooks on it. And it's more, there was just a lot of those types of textbooks. And then I also got cultural anthropology today, which I'm actually the most excited about this one because that's something that really interests me. But yeah, that's what I got on like my little spree. I got all those like textbooks. I got all those books for $25, which is honestly super amazing, and I'm proud of myself, besides what my friends gave me. But I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, leave me a like down below. I know it's a little bit different, but I thought it was interesting. I wanted to share something I'm passionate with you guys. So I'll see you guys in my next one. Bye bye!